Hello everyone. For this learning activity, I'm going to show you guys how to um, work with the different tools of where the tools are, where certain things are in Photoshop. So I'm giving you kind of a continued tour of the Photoshop interface. So if you click on Photoshop and open it up, you can actually see this on your own, but you can use either this video or your own exploring of Photoshop to basically complete the tools and options bar video web quest. So I'm going to just kind of go through and show you a few things in here. First thing, I'm going to create a new file so that we can actually see the toolbar. And once I'm in here, I'm going to go to the print preset category here and choose letter. Letter is the same size as a regular sheet of paper, so it just makes it easy to pick that. And last time I showed you guys where the different menus are, and I gave you a couple of pointers on finding the things that you needed for the scavenger hunt, like open them up and actually look in the sub menus and things like that. And I told you about what was in those menus. Over on the left, you'll find the toolbar. So the toolbar is located on the left side of the screen, and the toolbar includes several different types of tools. And what happens is when you click on these tools, different options appear at the top. So depending on the tool that you're using, there are going to be different options. Now, if I go down this list, I'll see there are several of these that have this little caret thing, the little arrow that points out in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you hold down your mouse on these things, you will see multiple other tools appear. And those are just tools that are related somehow to the tool that was picked immediately, or they just don't fit a category, but they are conveniently located in those spots. So you'll see there's all kinds of different tools here. Right now we have at the top on this, I have the Move tool and Artboard tool. We really won't use the Artboard tool too much in this class because Artboards are more of an Illustrator feature and not quite as user-friendly in Photoshop. There's selection tools. So these things with the dashes are called selection tools, and these are also selection tools. They just allow you to freehand draw selections instead of going with circles or ellipses or squares or rectangles, whatever. We have crop tools, and they're all pretty related. This is the frame tool, and one thing I will show you too is by default, if you don't know Photoshop real well, you might want to keep this feature on here, but when you hover over the different tools, it'll give you a preview in some cases of what that tool does. So you can see the crop tool allows you to crop an image to a certain part of the picture. You can also do a few other things like work with perspective, and I'll talk about that later, some other lesson. And as you go down, you'll see there's the healing brushes and things like that. And there's regular brushes, a clone stamp, history brush, art history brush. We got erasers, gradients, blur tool, sharpen, smudge, dodge, and burn, which are pretty much specific to photos. We'll talk a lot about that later. But there's the pen tool, the type tools, path selection and direct selection tool, shape tools, hand tool, which allows you to move your canvas, move around on your canvas, the zoom tool, which allows you to zoom in and out of your picture. And then there's this little 3-dot thing down here, and if you click that, you'll see a thing that says Edit Toolbar. That's one way you can get to the toolbar editor, and what this allows you to do is essentially customize your toolbar. So you can take out the things you don't use and you can add in the things you do use if not everything's there. I think I have actually everything on my toolbar in some form or another, but if I didn't have that, I could find it over where it says extra tools and then move it into these areas. You can also use this to organize your tools. So if there's certain tools that you usually use together, you could probably put them in a group, but if you use them, if you don't use them at all, you can take them out or whatever works for you. I wouldn't encourage you to do that for the first few months in this class, just because we'll be doing a lot of activities where you guys are going to need to use a specific tool, and you're going to need to find it based on where I tell you it's located. So, again, this customized toolbar thing is something you can definitely use if you're wanting to simplify what's on your toolbar or organize it in a different way. Another way to get to that is by going to, I believe, Edit Toolbar. So you can get to it that way as well. Going down a little further, you'll see there are these two color rectangles that are overlapping one another, and when you click on them, the color picker comes up. So this allows you to choose colors, and this top one is what's called the foreground color, and the bottom one's called the background color. And honestly, the background color really doesn't matter. By default, your background is white, but if you were to change this color, it wouldn't change the background. But what it would do is, if you change that color and then use the eraser, it actually will kind of be like painting with that color. Really, the best thing about having these two colors this way is it's kind of like having two swatches. So you can have two colors that you use the most or that you're using at the time, and you can alternate between them. And there's a quick way to do that, and that's this little double arrow right here. So if I click this, it allows me to switch the colors. I can switch the foreground and background color. And you'll know it does that when you hover over the icon here. It tells you, well, now it's not. There you go. In that tooltip, switch foreground and background colors. You can also do that with your keyboard with the X button, just so you know. So that's the color chooser, and when you click on the little double arrow, it allows you to switch between foreground and background colors. And again, if you're editing the tools on the toolbar, you use the three dots that's right above that, or you can go Edit Toolbar. What else? So if you, and you'll learn more about this in the next activity, but if you go to Window, you can see all of the panels that are available. And the panels, of course, are these things over here on the right. So you'll be actually setting up your own custom workspace with your own arrangement of panels here based on what we're doing in the next assignment. And you can change the color of this workspace too, by the way. If you right-click, you can choose black, dark gray, you can even do light gray, or custom. You can choose whatever color. What I don't recommend doing is choosing white, because then you can't tell where your canvas is. I like to usually keep it kind of a darker gray, like that. And what else? Oh yeah, so if you have more than one document open, you'll notice that there will be tabs up here. So I'll open something for the sake of showing you. I'll use whatever this is, this picture of the school. And you can see you can swap between documents by clicking on the tabs up here. You can also close documents by clicking the X. And that's it. So go ahead, if you haven't already, and complete the Tools and Options bar of VidQuest. If you happen to have missed the answers you haven't answered yet, all the questions, you can always go back into this video, rewatch it, and see what I did and where things are according to my description. So there you go.